Hello, everyone, and welcome to Center for Spiritual Living Rogue Valley in Medford, Oregon. I'm Kimberly Hawkins, Spiritual Director here. We're delighted that you decided to join us for our Sunday celebration. We are an inclusive, progressive spiritual community teaching spiritual tools to transform personal lives and help make a world that works for everyone. We welcome you no matter where you happen to be on your own personal spiritual journey. We are blessed today to have a guest speaker with us, Reverend Ruth Kirby. Many of you know Ruth. She has been a practitioner for 25 years, a minister for more than 15. Currently, Ruth is teaching online Science of Mind classes through home office to students all across the country. She's also doing personal work with individuals, doing spiritual coaching. Welcome, Rev Ruth. So glad to have you back. And our musical artists this morning are Anton Miserak and Laura Berryhill. We go to them now for our opening song.
A song by Daniel Nahmod.
Love is my decision. It's up to me to give of my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to start. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to stand on that bridge. Love is my decision. No one else can make me forgive. Once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision. It's my decision right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to dance down that road. Love is my decision. No one else can lighten my load. Once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision. It's my decision right here and now. It's my decision right here and now.
And right here and right now, I invite us all to take a collective deep breath together as we go into prayer. Love is indeed our decision. Love is that creative force that birthed each of us. It is the power, the presence in the air we breathe, in our physical bodies, in everything in the manifest universe. Source, God, Spirit, Creator, whatever we choose to call that higher power, that creative principle. I know it primarily as love. It is also unlimited, perfect peace, infinite harmony, absolute intelligence, freedom, beauty, joy, and so much more. Just recognizing that presence in, around, and through all of life this morning, knowing that each of us was birthed from God's stuff. There's nothing else to be made from. So we can never be separate from the love, the peace, the abundance, the harmony that Spirit is. I take the time this morning to bless, knowing our prayers are with all of those affected by the inclement weather, the flooding, the power outages, knowing that each person is provided for, that God is right where they are, and that we as humans are guided to support and rescue and be of service to everyone who's experiencing difficulty now. I know that this service is guided by the hand, the mind of that infinite one. I affirm that each person listening receives something that they need to hear, or perhaps that they need to release. I know that the message, the music, all of it conspires for the highest good of each person involved. I bless our guest speaker, Reverend Ruth Kirby, who always delivers an inspiring and uplifting talk, and grateful as well for our musicians, Anton and Laura, and for our skeleton crew here in service to all. And so knowing that all is well, everything unfolds perfectly, I release this word, knowing as all prayers, it is heard, it is answered. And I invite us to say together, and so it is. Amen. Reverend Ruth has chosen for her talk title this morning, Courting the Divine, and I can't wait to hear what she has to say about that, because she always has a creative way and a deep way of presenting spiritual truth. But for our reading, we've chosen some quotes from the founder of Science of Mind, Ernest Holmes, on the topic of courting the divine. He said this: "We long for and need a conscious union with the infinite. This is as necessary to the nature and intellect of people as food is to the well-being of their physical body." Once again, we long for and need a conscious union with the infinite as necessary as food to the well-being of our physical bodies. He also said the teaching of the mystics has been that there should be a conscious courting of the divine presence. There should be a conscious receptivity to it. And Ernest Holmes, our founder, has been accused at times of presenting an image of the divine that is somewhat cold, talking about the law rather than a personality. But he himself said otherwise. The last quote from him is this: "Let us not forget that there is inherent necessity for warmth and color. The universe is more than an inexorable law of cause and effect. Spiritual evolution should make the infinite not more distant, but more intimate. God is love, and love is God." And so it is. We go once again to our musicians, Anton and Laura.
We're going to do a chant written by Paramahansa Yogananda, Door of My Heart.
Door of my heart, open wide I keep for thee. Door of my heart, open wide I keep for thee. Wilt thou come, wilt thou come, just for once come to me. Wilt thou come, wilt thou come, just for once come to me. Will my days fly away without seeing thee, my Lord? Will my days fly away without seeing thee, my Lord? Night and day, I look for thee night and day. Night and day, I look for thee night and day. Door of my heart, open wide I keep for thee. Door of my heart, open wide I keep for thee. Wilt thou come, wilt thou come, just for once come to me. Wilt thou come, to me. Will my days fly away without seeing thee, my Lord? Will my days fly away without seeing thee, my Lord? Night and day, night and day, I look for thee, night and day. Night and day, night and day, I look for thee, night and day. Night and day, night and day, I look for thee, night and day. Night and day, night and day, I look for thee, night and day. Door of my heart, open wide I keep for thee. Door of my heart, open wide I keep for thee.
Good morning, and thank you, Anton and Laura. That was absolutely beautiful. Well, I am going to be your spiritual Dr. Ruth this morning because I know that some of you are looking to spice things up in the meditation room. Am I right? Yes, meditation been getting a little boring lately? Has your daily practice been coming down to twice a week, maybe once a week, maybe once a month, or never? Oh, and do you sometimes find yourself thinking about how to balance the budget or what you're going to have for dinner right in the middle of meditation? Well, and there's another question I have for you. How long has it been since you have had a full-on spiritual orgasm? It's okay to talk about it. It's all right. Lots of people have this problem in the meditation room. It's okay. So I am here to tell you, what if I could tell you that instead of saying yes to your spiritual practice, you could say yes, yes, yes. Actually, I am Reverend Ruth Kirby, and I am here today to offer a new approach to our spiritual practice to bring in more intimacy and more passion into our relationship with God. Even I couldn't channel Dr. Ruth through a whole talk, right? So my talk today, Courting the Divine, Finding Passion in Our Love for God, is about tending to our relationship with God. Yes, we are in relationship with God. We are in a lifelong, forever, can't change it connection to all that is. And while we can't change that, which is a good thing, what is up to us is the quality and the nature and the tone and the depth of that connection that we have to God. Reverend Michael Beckwith is often heard to say that there is no separation between God and you, but there might be some separation between you and God. And what that's saying is that the reality is there is no separation between God and us. But sometimes we create the experience of separation on our end. That's our end, up to us. God isn't holding back, but we might be experiencing some separation. So my talk today is about courting the divine and bringing in a closer and more intimate connection in our relationship with God. And I chose the word, let me just say, I want to explore this idea of courting the divine by beginning to explore courting, what courting is all about, what courting another person is like, and then we will look at what we can carry over to courting the divine. So I chose the word courting because it has more of a implication of commitment, over dating. Dating sounds like, well, we're just dating, like it's kind of like one foot out the door, right? So courting, I feel like, has this energy of you've already chosen that you're the person of your desire, and now you are doing whatever it takes to catch the eye of that person or to create more closeness, to create more intimacy. When someone is courting someone, they are starting from a higher level of commitment in the first place. They know what they want, and they're doing whatever it takes to go get it. So I kind of chose the word courting over dating for that reason. So what are the components? Let's look at the 4 main components of courting someone when we're courting a person. The first one would be making time with them a priority. Have you ever noticed how super busy people, like who you couldn't get a lunch date with for 4 months or something, suddenly they meet somebody and they've got time that next day to spend with them? And in other words, we make time for that which is important to us. We are able to, even in some crazy busy schedule, we are able to make time for the person that we are courting, or the person that we love, or the person we want to spend more time with. So it becomes a way in which we communicate that to them. We make spending time with them a priority. The second thing is that we want to know all about them, right? We're fascinated by them. We hang on every word. We want to communicate with them. We want to find out about them and tell them about us and have this communication back and forth. And we just love everything we're hearing, and we're just fascinated. We're hanging on every word. So we want to find out about them. We're interested in them. And the third component is this idea of going all out and wearing your best clothes and maybe bringing flowers and gifts and poetry. And, it signifies how we feel about them. And you wouldn't show up to a date with someone you're courting, from a run full of sweat with mud on your face and a half hour late, right? That you would not do that because it would communicate something else. And so the whole sort of taking care of with your appearance and taking care of what the gifts you bring, the way in which they show up, right? The way in which someone shows up to someone they are courting matters and is a communication to that other person about their level of importance in that person's life. And then the fourth way is thinking about them, visualizing them, imagining them when we're not with them. So oftentimes when there is somebody you are interested in or you are courting, you're not just thinking about them when you're with them, you're thinking about them all the time. You're imagining the feeling of being with them. And, when we were young, we were drawing little hearts in our notebooks on the side, with our initials or whatever, and mooning and dreaming about someone. So it's that thing of thinking about them and having them in your being all the time, not just when you're with them. And that's what can occur when we are courting someone, when we are interested in someone, we have an object of our desire. So let's look at those four same components and around courting the divine, applying those to courting the divine. So the first one, making time a priority, making spending time with God a priority, making it time spent in our spiritual practice a priority. When we do this, we are saying, yes, this matters. Yes, this is important to me. And then also just to realize that if we say we don't have time for it, it's kind of not true. Because when we want to do something, we will do it. And so possibly if you're feeling busy, it may not be that you need to clear your schedule. It may be that you need to up your want. Somehow stoke that desire a little higher for you to do your spiritual practice. Because when we want to do something, we do it. The second aspect of wanting to know all about someone. So we want to know everything about God. We are fascinated with God. We look at the universe and we just go, wow, and we want to know everything we can possibly know about it. It is an amazing universe that we live in. God is an amazing concept and feeling, and we want to, we're listening. It's like we're leaning in, saying, oh, tell me more, tell me more. So there's that interest in that leaning in when we are courting the divine. The third aspect, this idea of going all out and wearing your best clothes and bringing flowers and gifts and stuff, I was thinking about this week, and the same kind of thing applies, right? If you came to church, for example, or to a spiritual gathering, in your sweats and with mud on your face and half hour late, it would really show to everybody else where it was on your list, kind of how you're communicating something with your sort of haphazard way of participating in it. And I wanted to share this story too, that when I think I was about 10 or 12, I was raised atheist. So I was with my grandma and she went to church. And so she was getting all dressed up for church. And I remember asking her, Grandma, why do you get dressed up for church? Like, what's the purpose of that? And she said, well, I want God to see me at my best. I want to be at my best for God. She said something about, like, I want to be in my finery in the presence of God. And I didn't think much of it at the time. I couldn't really relate to it because of where I was coming from, but I was thinking about that during this week about this. There's something about that. It's not for God. It's kind of for us. It's that idea of taking care how we show up. Taking care with not just our appearance, but yes, maybe our appearance, because it represents that what we are going to do and who we're doing it with matters to us. Like it sort of represents that. If you were going to, meet the queen of the universe or something, you might dress up. I don't know. You might at least brush your hair. But anyway, the other part of this is taking care with your energy, like it matters how you're showing up, just that sort of general thing. Excuse me. And I was thinking about that in terms of energy. What is the energy that we want to show up, to our spiritual practice with? And I was having this image of a bunch of people being in a field with flowers and grass and trees and butterflies and birds and stuff. And I'm sitting there so still. Everybody else is running around, but I'm sitting still. And a butterfly lands on my arm. And I don't know if you've ever had this kind of thing happen. I'm sure some of you have. It's like a magical moment, right? And you don't want to move. You're just in total stillness while that butterfly is on you. And it's this moment of magic and delight, right? And and if anyone's around you, you're like, shh, don't move. And I really think that's a sort of a representation of the type of way we want to show up, like to be expecting delight, to be expecting to have God land on us in that special kind of magical way. And so we want to take care with our energy and how we're showing up. So it might be, that we've taken a shower, but it also might be that we've just really taken care to be in some great energy to really receive God. And the fourth thing was thinking about them all the time, right? And visualizing about it. And so we can think about God all the time. We could be imagining, and remembering that we are one with God all the time. I think this is what was talked about in this whole idea of praying without ceasing, is not just when we're in meditation, not thinking about God just when we're doing a prayer or just when we're at a spiritual service, but all the time being aware of our oneness, being aware and maybe just being delighted about it too. Like imagine, like I was saying, like drawing the little thing in the notebook, Ruth and God are one. Ruth and God sitting in a tree, BLESSING, blessing. So, but being in that sort of like, ooh, this is really awesome. I am connected. I'm always connected to God, sort of thinking about that and being in a joy place about our oneness. So anytime that we are sitting down to do some spiritual practice or prayer or even attending a service like this, we can imagine it to be like a date with God, an opportunity to deepen our relationship, to go deeper in our relationship to God, and to experience the love that is a two-way street in our relationship with God, being loved and being loving. Now, I'm imagining that some people possibly listening to this might be wondering if this whole idea of being in relationship with God is at all suggesting separation. So I want to address that concern. And I just want to say that the mystic traditions of the mystic aspects of many traditions do relate to Spirit and God as the beloved. It's a common way of acknowledging Spirit, the beloved. And I believe that is not done out of separation, but rather out of intimacy. For example, Sufi tradition refers to God as the beloved and even considers their death day to be their wedding day, that is when the final barrier to oneness, the body itself, is shedded, and now there is only oneness. And there also, I was thinking too about the Native American traditions and how they have all of these relational terms, like Mother Earth and Father Sky and all of the otters and the rocks and whatever, all are relations. And I believe that this comes out of a sureness of connection rather than separation. It is an expression of that we are all connected, that we are all one. And so I just wanted to say that because I really think that this is an invite to create more intimacy rather than something that is speaking of separation, that many of these traditions use these terms to express their belief that we are all one. And also, it's possible to have a relationship with something you are totally connected with. And one example would be my body. I'm in relationship with my body. I have a relationship with my body. It might be a good one, it might not be a good one, but I have some kind of relationship with my body. And last I checked, I'm totally connected to my body right now. So it doesn't need to apply separation. It just is a way, sort of like a construct. It's actually meant to be a way to go even deeper and more intimate. So the invitation of courting the divine is really about being able to, we already know that we are one with God, right? That God is in us and all around us in every moment. We understand this oneness. And this invitation is really about being able to feel it, feel into it, experience oneness as a feeling, experience God as love, as close love, to be able to really have a visceral and feeling tone experience of that love, so that our time spent with God is a time of being in love. And I have to say that I think that God is wooing us all the time, whispering in our ears, see things as I see them, bask in the glory, see the beauty of this world, see the beauty of each other, see the beauty of yourself. And wooing is just another word for courting. So if we're wooing the divine and the divine is wooing us, then we're in a woo-woo relationship with all that is. And I just think that's funny because in our teaching we're often accused of being woo-woo, right? So now we can say, yes, I am in a woo-woo relationship with the divine. And that's just how it is. So woo-woo is a whole new meaning now, right? We're wooing the divine is wooing us. And so for those of you who are looking to spice things up in the meditation room, the invitation is this: to attend to our relationship with God as we would attend to a lover we are courting, to experience our time spent in spiritual practice as time with the beloved, to bask in the glory of this love, to feel the love going both ways to you and from you, to experience the feeling of being cherished and of cherishing. And I invite you to go all out. Put on some beautiful piece of clothing. Put your phone in the other room and silence it. Find some candles and some beautiful music. Create an altar with some beautiful objects and read some poetry. Perhaps even pour a glass of sparkling water and make a toast to a most glorious affair. And maybe leave some chocolates on the altar for the sweetness of divine, and then later go back and eat them to signify that the divine is in you. So, because Thomas Kelly, who was our quote earlier for today, is so right on. He says, "We have too long been prim and restrained. The fires of the love of God, of love toward God, and of God's love towards us are very hot." So this week, go out and make some spiritual whoopee and have a fabulous time in your spiritual practice. Thank you. And we are going to take that to prayer. So go ahead. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Allow yourself to just sink into that beauty, that beautiful sanctuary within, that place of love within all of us. And this is what I know. I know that there is only one power, one divine intelligence, one universal life force energy that I call God, but you can call it whatever you like. There's only one. And that this is all that there is. There is nothing else. Only God and more God and more God and more God. Knowing this, I know exactly who I am, that I am an expression of God, that I am an expression of divine intelligence. For there is nothing else I could possibly be, for there is nothing else. And so I know that this is true for everyone within the sound of my voice and everyone on the planet and beyond. That we are all expressions of God, that we are all expressions of divine intelligence. There is nothing else we could possibly be, for there is nothing else. Only God and more God. And so knowing this about us, I know that we have everything we need already within us to create the life we want to live, to create a life of joy and peace and harmony and abundance and power and clarity, to create a spiritual practice that is alive and popping, where we experience the love of God in every moment of it, and then dream about it and think about it and visualize it the whole rest of the day. And I know that each of us has within us the power and presence of God, that we are guided, divinely blessed, and led to our most happy place in our lives when we listen. And so I know that for all of us, I claim right here and now that we are throwing ourselves wide open to the intelligence and the love of pure spirit, allowing ourselves to be guided, to be loved, to be cherished, to be present for this glorious life. And for all of this, I just give thanks. Oh, so much gratitude. For we are so blessed. I give thanks for all gifts that are given every day in every way, seen and unseen, in this glorious thing called life. And so with great gratitude, I just know that everything that I have just said is the absolute truth. And so I allow it to be so. We allow it to be so. And together we say, and so it is. We
go now to Laura and Anton.
We're going to do a song from India, from the Hindu tradition. Krishna, the avatar of the infinite, seduces Radha, a mere mortal. Murali Manohara, he steals her heart with his flute, and afterwards all Radha wants to do is spend all her time with Krishna. This is a song from that cycle of Radha and Krishna. Jai Radha Madhava, Jai Kunja
Kunja Vihari, Jai Radha Madhava, Jai Kunja Vihari, Jai Gopi Jana Ballabha, Jai Girivardhari, Jai Gopi Jana Ballabha, Jai Girivardhari. Yashodanandana Briji Jana Ranjana,
Yashodanandana Briji Jana Ranjana,
Yashodanandana Briji Jana Ranjana,
Yashodanandana Briji Jana Ranjana,
Yashodanandana Briji Jana Ranjana, Yamanatira Banachari, Jai Radha Madhava, Jai Kunja Vihari, Jai Radha Madhava, Jai Kunja Vihari, Jai Gopi Jana Ballabha, Jai Girivardhari, Jai Gopi Jana Ballabha, Jai Girivardhari. Murali Manohara Karuna Sagara,
Murali Manohara Karuna Sagara,
Murali Manohara Karuna Sagara,
Murali Manohara Karuna Sagara,
Murali Manohara Karuna Sagara, Jai Govardha Dhanadhari, Jai Radha Madhava, Jai Kunja Vihari, Jai Radha Madhava, Jai Kunja Vihari, Jai Gopi Jana Ballabha, Jai Gopi Jana Ballabha, Jai Gopi Jana Ballabha, Jai Girivardhari, Jai Radha Madhava, Jai Kunja
I don't know about you, but between that lovely chant and the delightful talk, who knew that we'd have Dr. Ruth, channeled by Reverend Ruth, about spicing up our love affair with the divine. So grateful for all of this to share with you today. It's time now to turn our attention to the spiritual practice of sacred giving. And I invite you, if you would, to say our giving affirmation with me as it comes up on the screen for you now. You might want to place your hand on your heart as we say, from the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper. It is evidence of my faith and my belief. It does great work in the world, and it returns to me multiplied abundantly. There are a couple ways you can make a contribution to Center for Spiritual Living Rogue Valley so that we might continue our ministry. You can go on our website, cslroguevalley.org, and hit the donate button, or mail a check to CSL RV, P.O. Box 1458, Medford, Oregon, 97501. And let me say that we are extremely grateful for your continued support so that we can continue to be a community that allows us to support one another to see the face of God in each and every person. A few announcements before we wrap up. This afternoon at 1, we continue our free book study of Neil Donald Walsh's latest contribution, The God Solution, The Power of Pure Love. That link is in our newsletter. And we also continue our 3 days a week spiritual practice connection time. I continue to offer poetry as spiritual practice Monday at 9 a.m. Practitioner Nancy Clay does another call Wednesday at 9 a.m. And our practitioner and ministerial student Laura Stewart offers another chance to connect on Thursday evenings at 7 p.m. All of the information about all of our activities and classes you'll find in our weekly e-newsletter. If you're not already receiving it, you can sign up right here on our Facebook page or go to our website and email us, cslroguevalley@gmail.com. I think that's it for announcements. We go now once again to Laura Berryhill and Anton Miserak for our closing song.
And this is a song by Laura Berryhill and Anton Miserak. Something lost, something found. In a single moment, heaven fills your eyes, it's all around. For a single moment, can you hear your heart in the quiet of your dreams? Keep a good heart, let it be yours, let it be true. Keep a good heart, let it be happy. Keep a good heart, fill it with hope, see it anew. It is your heart to share. The sun reveals its brilliance like a diamond in the darkness, sending ripples through the cosmos to the edge of time. You've given it all away, what you never knew you wanted, what you always thought you had, but the heart remains. Keep a good heart, let it be yours, let it be true. Keep a good heart, let it be happy. Keep a good heart, fill it with hope, see it anew. It is your heart to share. Keep a good heart, keep a good heart, keep a good heart. Keep a good heart, keep a good heart, keep a good heart. Keep a good heart, keep a good heart, keep a good heart. Keep a good heart, keep a good heart, keep a good heart.
Oh, many, many thanks, Anton and Laura, for that beautiful original song and the reminder to keep a good heart. As we say goodbye, I would like to thank our crew here that makes this live broadcast and recording available later. We have Bill and Connie Miner, Shannon Schnibbe, our sound engineer, Tom Frederick. Small but mighty crew here this morning. A big thank you to Reverend Ruth Kirby for channeling Dr. Ruth and just leaving you with her beautiful reminder that we can have a woo-woo relationship with God, that God is always wooing us, and that we do well to continue to woo the beloved, making time to spend on that connection. Blessings, my dears. We'll see you next week, if not before. Namaste to you all.